I wanted to test a free version of Linux, and I knew that out on the internet somewhere I would be able to find all of the necessary components. I began by firing up my browser.
How I start up a browser. From my Windows XP desktop, there's usually a prominent icon like this one, referencing Microsoft's well-known Windows Internet Explorer. I could double-click on this icon, or from the Start button, there's usually a prominent reference like this one, Internet Explorer. From here, I just single-click. That brings up my browser at its start page. In my case, that's Google.
Google's main search engine web page connects me with their powerful servers that are constantly scouring the internet.
They know where all kinds of word combinations can be found on the millions of sites that are out there. I begin by clicking in their prominent search bar and then typing the words I want to find. In this case, PcLinuxOs 2008 Minime download, because I know I want to get that operating system. I then click on Google Search to see what comes up. There's a list of websites where that phrase is prominent. I can scroll through that list by clicking on and dragging this little scroll bar tool. But the link I want is probably this first one. It looks very promising. It says PcLinuxOs Minime Download Softpedia. So I'm going to single click right there. Wikipedia is one of several websites offering free downloads of PcLinuxOs Minime 2008. Here's a page that seems to offer that. By scrolling around and looking on it, I can find the prominent link. This looks like what I want. It says PcLinuxOs 2008 Minime ISO. That ISO stands for International Standards Organization, and it represents a way of formatting a file that is designed for convenience in burning it to a CD-ROM. That's exactly what I want, so I'm going to click on that link once and see where it takes me. Clicking on a download link like that, Windows responds with a frame like this one named File Download, offering to save the file at some convenient place on my computer. The name looks right, the size looks right, the source looks right. This is what I want to do, so I'm going to click Save. Then immediately brought up a new frame named Save As, offering to save the file we've been talking about, PcLinuxOs Minime 2008, as an ISO document. That's the correct file name and the correct type, and it's offering to save it in my temp directory, where I usually save things. Windows has learned my habits. Your experience may be to put it somewhere else, but I like to put it at C:temp. But I also want to make a new folder beneath here that I'm going to call PcLinuxOs. It just seems to make good sense to me. I do that by clicking on this icon and typing in that name, PcLinuxOs. Then I'm going to double click there and click Save. The dialog box then reports that it can download things and suggests that it's going to take about an hour and in fact 2 hours and 12 minutes it says here now as it's downloading. That time will change and probably speed up as we go along. It's dropping now, but we're going to come back when that's done. Back a few minutes later shows how this saving dialog box works as time goes by. There's a bar graph that advances from left to right as we finish. So when we're done, that green will be all the way over here. It says it's going to be 27 minutes from now. To the end now, it says we have 6 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and copying. Looks like there's an extra copy phase here. Download complete. That means I've got my ISO file, PcLinuxOs Minime 2008 ISO, stored at C:temp and PcLinuxOs Minime. This is important. You need to know where it put the file because we're going to need it later on. And Windows has a way of storing things in obscure, inobvious places unless you're paying attention when you save it. Remember where it put it. I'm going to close this dialog box. Done with my browser for the moment, so I'm going to close it. I could do that with File Exit, or I could do it from up here with the X button. Here we are back at our desktop where we started out. We've got our file. Now that we've got that ISO file, we want to use it to install Linux. We need to go find the file and start working with it. To do that, I want to go to My Computer. I click on Start, and click on My Computer, and we'll browse into my computer to figure out where I put it. I remember that I put it on drive C, so I'm clicking here on local drive C, actually double click, and then temp. We put it here at temp, remember? There's where I created this folder named PcLinuxOs, and when I double click there, we see the file. Double clicking on the file, we'll find out if Windows knows how to deal with it. We hope Windows knows how to burn this to a CD-ROM. Click, click. Uh-oh. Windows doesn't know how to deal with this file. We're going to try to figure that out. It says Windows cannot open this file. When Windows doesn't know how to handle a file, it asks you for advice on how to proceed, offering two options. Option 1 of 2 is to use the web service to find the appropriate program, or option 2 of 2 is to select the program from a list. Well, in my case, I'm pretty sure I need help from the web, so I'm clicking on this Use the Web Service and then clicking OK. In the Windows found from Microsoft's Application Search website, it says the file type is a CD-ROM image of extension ISO, as we expected. This file is a CD-ROM image, and software or information are available here. There's this list. I went and visited all of these websites, and I found 5 different offerings of tools to burn this to CD-ROM, but as I looked at them, all of them cost money, and I prefer when possible to get free ones. So I'm going to abandon this, and instead we're going to go do a Google search to find CD-ROM burning software that can handle an ISO image for free. I bet we can find something that we won't have to pay for, or at least won't have to pay for right away. My Google search engine, which I've set up as my home page. I do it by just clicking on this little house icon. And now I'm going to type in information describing what I want. I want free software to burn an ISO image to CD-ROM. And the first link looks promising. It says, Make an ISO, the solution. Let's go there. First link from my Google search results. And that took me to this site, en.kioskia.net. Make an ISO image with text about what these images are, more details, and then some tools, a list of various tools to get the job done. It says they're all free, but I looked at them and there are varying degrees of free. The one I liked the best was this one called ISO Recorder. So I clicked on that link, which took me to this site, isorecorder.alexfeynman.com. I liked what I saw here. There's a lot of friendly text about their download page, some background about where it came from during the Windows XP beta program, the fact that there are various versions available, including a Vista version, and assurance that it has always been a free tool. I like that. So in their download section, I went to the section that corresponds to my computer, not this one. My computer is most like this one, Windows XP Service Pack 2 and Windows 2003. So I'm going to click there, and that takes me to various builds. It looks like there's a 32-bit build and a 64-bit build. I'm going to click on the 32-bit build, and it offers to save it. Just like before, I'm going to have to create a spot to save it on in my file system under C:temp, where I'll know how to find it next time. Those download dialog box, I'm given the opportunity to save it, and when I do, well, it looks like it's the right kind of a file, not very big, from the website I expected. So I'm going to click Save, and it's going to ask me where to put it. Now, Windows often offers to store things in their My Documents area. I hate that. I like to store them in an area that I control, have better control over. So I'm going to go up various levels to My Computer and browse into drive C, temp, where we were before. And I'm now going to create a new folder named ISO Recorder. I do that with this icon here that's labeled Create New Folder. Clicking it once, then hitting backspace, clears what they put in there before, and I can type ISO Recorder. That's the way I like to spell it, just so I can remember it. When I hit Enter, that folder is created, and I can double click on it, and now we're ready in that folder to save this file as expected by clicking Save. It's downloading really fast, and there it is. I've got it. Closed all these various dialog boxes so that I could get back to a desktop. I like getting a nice clean desktop to continue my work.